Welcome back to Chris Dupre, a sales coach and sales expert here at Impact, talking about something that I think is very close to your heart and very interesting for our audience as well. And I want to first back up and start by asking you something we say a lot to sales teams, which is role playing is vital to sales development, team development, performance, etc. First, talk about why role plays are so important, and then we'll dive into how we can use AIs to make role plays even better.
Yeah. So listen, the heart of sales is communication. And the way to practice communication is practicing communication. And that is the role play. Just like if you're a basketball player and you take a bunch of free throws or practice layups or dribbling, this is that when you're a professional communicator, right? Understanding how conversations can go, practicing saying the wrong thing to the right people, which is your team, versus saying the wrong thing to your customer, right? So at the core of developing and mastering our craft, if we think that we can just show up, we're wrong. It's the idea of that 10,000 hours to master something and then you still keep going. You know, there's a reason that musicians keep practicing their instrument. There's reasons that golfers keep going to the putting green, the driving range. Sales folks, that's role playing. Whether you like it or not, it is the core of how do you get better at having those conversations. So that's why, for me, it's number one on the list of things to do to improve performance of a sales organization.
Yeah, a great reminder. A friend of mine is a violinist in a symphony, and he literally spends 8 hours a day practicing. 9 to 5 practicing. Everybody does it. But we all know that role plays, people are resistant to them for any number of reasons. For all the reasons that immediately come to mind for any of us. They feel awkward, they feel uncomfortable, it's hard appearing maybe a certain way to a team, especially if that team hasn't developed the right level of psychological safety, etc. So, talk about how you right now are using AI for role playing, how you are doing it both for yourself and then how you're helping your clients do it as well.
Yeah, so there's two paths that we could go. And so I'm going to start with the larger path, the how does a sales leader bring role playing and leverage AI to do it, okay? And then we're going to talk about how you as an individual can do it by yourself, okay? So the biggest pushback or resistance you always get when you start role playing with a group is the fact that it's not real, right? So you hear, well, they're just made up and, the guy role playing just gives us the answer, or they try to create the worst scenario. Like it's that flashback to the scene in The Office where Michael makes Dwight role play with Jim and Jim just does everything to get Dwight all kinds of worked up. And it's just a complete caricature of what role playing can turn into when not done correctly. All right, so everybody should go to YouTube and just look at that because it is one of the funniest scenes in television ever. But here's the deal. We have to make role playing real. And you can simply take a call that's already happened and use it. You can take client data that's already happened and use it. Here's where AI, though, supercharges both of those things. Most people, when they set up a role play, they set up the general scenario. Everybody knows the whole thing. You've talked and set ground rules where nobody's going to act like a jerk or try to do what Jim does to Dwight. And then you get in there and the person playing the prospect really doesn't know what to do or say. And so they might give a little bit more. They might be tougher. They don't have a direction. And as the leader of the role play, You might be watching it and seeing it crash and burn. So maybe you're private messaging somebody, but you're doing all these things, but it's just not smooth. With AI, we can develop true guardrails for the prospect. We, as the sales leader, can go in, set up the scenario, tell the AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Llama 2, any other of these large language models, we can tell it what we're trying to achieve. We can tell it the types of obstacles we want the buyer to bring up. We can give it this stuff, and it can generate almost a script, not a script, but guardrails or ways to respond. I've seen it say, at first be defensive, then start to show honesty. Like it just walks them through so that that person that is playing the buyer or the prospect answers questions, shows up the way that you as the leader want them to, so that the role player, like your sales pro, is actually getting the muscles worked that they need to have worked. And when any rep gets the right muscles worked and then can go take that to that next meeting that is very similar to that role play, and they go win, they're going to be your best advocates for doing this over and over and over again. Right? So again, the idea is we always want to give a read ahead or give some guardrails. But I've seen for myself, it's hard to develop those on my own. So I can do it. It might take me 10 or 15 minutes. Whereas with ChatGPT, I can go in and spend 2 minutes saying what I'm trying to accomplish and what I want to see, and it gives me everything I need in that 2 minute time frame, and now I'm right into it. Okay, so that is, to me, the superpower of leveraging AI in what should be the core conversations you have as a sales team, right? That is that role playing scenario.
And I see you helping sales leaders roll this out to their team, but as you say, I'm also seeing the opportunity for salespeople individually to use this as a tool to prep for calls or to do postmortems on calls that didn't go well, or just to, as you said, get reps outside of the boundaries of the team. Something they might just do on their own, either their teams outside of the support of their team, or just kind of want some more practice on an individual basis. And what are some tips that you have when it comes to prompting or structuring so that those sales leaders can get, or those salespeople can get the most out of it?
The most important thing for me with prompting, and listen, I know it's a word with AI. I don't think of it that way, right? So for me, it's simply tell the AI who they are, right? So treat it like a human, tell it who they are. So if you sell to, you know, New Zealanders between the age of 45 and 60 who are looking to plan for their retirement, tell the tool that that's who they are, tell them what they're looking for, and give them some information on it. And that primes for you to have the right conversation, right? So that's the prompting. So tell it who it is, what it's looking for. You may even tell it to go look at your web page so they understand the service of the product. And then you just simply say, hey, I want to role play this scenario. Here's what I'm trying to do. Can you act as that person and have a conversation with me? And it's pretty solid. And here's what it allows you to do. It allows you to test questions. What questions should I use? What are some potential hurdles that might come up? What are some blind spots that I might not be thinking about? Right? And you can do that just having a chat with this AI bot. So you still have to role play with humans, but on a Tuesday afternoon, 20 minutes before a call, you might not be able to get your buddy on the phone. But ChatGPT, Llama 2, these other tools are going to be there, right? Then the next thing you can do, take a call transcript from call one. Remove any like proprietary details, take company name out, take financial details out. But you load that in and you can say, this was our last conversation. I want you to play person X, and I would take the transcript, put it in a Google Doc, label it as person X and then person Y, tell it who to play, and say, let's go through this next sales conversation. Or you could say, this was my last call with this company. What hurdles do I still need to get over? What potential objections could come up? What are some great questions to start? And then ask it to role play through it with you. Now, here's the thing, John. I'm not saying this is a theoretical exercise. This is some of the stuff that I have done in doing sales work at Impact to make sure I'm ready for a call, while at the same time trying to test and see where can we gain efficiencies without losing that real solid prep work. And I've seen that it works really well and has helped me, maybe not give me all the questions, but that first question that I've needed for a second call, boom. The things that I've got to be prepping for. What are the fears, worries, concerns, or issues that could arise based on a previous conversation?
It's fantastic because, especially if you're a salesperson with 20 deals in your pipeline, it's a great way to quickly rehash conversations that happened to make sure that you can pick something up right where you left it off.
And it's simple and it's quick. And this is where we fail. We should fail in these types of scenarios with our teams or with the AI so that we go and kill it when we're with our buyer, so we can be the guide. We can help them solve their issue and really set the relationship up for mutual success.
So, just a reminder to everyone listening, this is Chris Dupre, sales coach and sales leader here at Impact. They can follow you on LinkedIn. You're doing a lot of interesting stuff about AI on there. And they can obviously also reach out to you through our website to talk about ways that you help sales teams of all sizes, all industries, B2B, B2C, etc., be better communicators with their buyers, and how they can use AI and other tools that are new to the marketplace to speed that process up. Chris, any final words for our audience?
Listen, you just have to take action. I know AI sounds scary. I know role playing might sound scary. And if we want to win as we continue to move through the rest of 2023 into 2024 and beyond, these are the types of things that those that will be around for very long time will be doing. And those that sit back and don't make time to explore, don't make time to role play, are the ones that won't likely be around in the future. So if you're struggling with that, or you just want to dive in more, like John said, you can follow me on LinkedIn, or let's book a call and have a conversation around AI, communication, and sales.
Thanks, Chris, for your time.